Alright guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to gear up your characters insanely fast in TBC Classic. In fact, you'll gear up so fast that you'll be ready for Karazhan and all the raids basically before you are even level 70. Okay, so first thing you want to do guys is get this Chrome extension called Block Site. You put in the Wowhead website and you immediately press block. I'm kind of joking guys, I mean you don't have to go and block Wowhead. In all seriousness, all I'm trying to say is don't be following the Wowhead guides for when it comes to your pre-raid best in slot gear. I will have the links to post 2.1 and pre 2.1 best in slot gear list in the description of this video for you to properly check them out. They're here on this big spreadsheet for every single class and spec in the game. It really is your Bible for gear. But honestly guys, to get ready for raids like Karazhan and Gruul's, you don't really actually have to be in absolutely perfect pre-raid best in slot gear. Okay, maybe for Magfarodon's fair enough, and if you're a tank then yeah, you need to be one step ahead of everyone else when it comes to your gear. But yeah, you can equip yourself in really good gear that's like what, 5% worse than your actual pre-raid best in slot gear and be totally fine for Karazhan and Gruul's Lair. Personally, I never found my absolute pre-raid best in slot. I get really good gear that's just a hairline shy of pre-raid best in slot gear, you know, 1 or 2% worse, and I just go into Karazhan and then get Karazhan gear anyway, you know, because it just saves time. You can get very powerful items that are just shy of pre-raid best in slot very quickly from quests, okay, and obviously items that you get from quests are a very fast way to gear up because it's a guaranteed chance that you're going to get that item. You don't have to rely on the RNG of certain items dropping and farming dungeons over and over and over again until you just, you know, totally soul drained. Best thing to do is, when you're level 68, start doing your Karazhan Achievement questline, okay? The actual questline itself for Karazhan Achievement doesn't actually provide any gear, but the dungeons that you have to do will have quests attached to them. And a lot of these quest rewards actually are pre-raid best in slot. The reason why I tell you to do it at level 68 is because you're killing 3 birds with 1 stone. You're gaining experience up until level 70, you're getting your achievement done, and you're getting your pre-raid best in slot gear all at the same time. And even if the quest reward gear isn't technically pre-raid best in slot, it's going to be extremely good and definitely good enough for Karazhan. Okay, most classes will actually in fact get 4 pre-raid best in slot pieces from just doing the Karazhan achievement anyway. I give an example such as the Soul Devices quest for the Shadow Labyrinth. It has bracer gear with a gem socket, and normally that is best in slot for most classes because you can put a big fat gem socket into it for a particular stat that you want, like spell damage or agility or something. You've also got quests like the Into the Heart of the Labyrinth provides boot gear with 2 gem sockets. You've also got the quest to go into the Old Hillsbrand foothills for the first time, and it will give you gear with 2 gem sockets. In fact, the glove gear is actually pre-raid best in slot gear, so that's pretty Bob's your uncle. Then you have a Steam Vaults quest for the Warlord's Hideout that provides headgear with a meta slot. Okay, you may be thinking, well, meta gems are extremely expensive, there's no chance I'm going to get them, people don't even have the recipes yet. Well, you can very easily pick up a meta gem for attack power or spell power with the Spirit Shards in Taroga Forest. Okay, and while we're talking about Spirit Shard rewards, you can actually get best in slot ring rewards as well because of the spell hit chance and also the attack, you know, melee hit chance. And like most people, you've already been farming like Mantombs, AC and Sephek Halls and everything while you've been leveling, so you probably have a lot of Spirit Shard lying around in your bag right now. Personally, I have 49, so I only have to do one more run of one of these dungeons to get 50, and there you go, I'm going to get a really good, well, I'm going to get a pre-raid best in slot ring piece. Apart from the dungeons attached to the Karazhan Achievement questline, there are other dungeons that also provide really good quest rewards that you can very quickly pick up and, like I said before, guaranteed chance to get some pretty good gear. Here we have Hero of the Brood. Doesn't provide utterly best in slot gear, but really good ring gear, and all you have to do is complete the Black Morass, which you're going to be doing anyway on the Karazhan Achievement questline. Next we have a Mana Tombs quest, very easily picked up, and it provides really good gear. In fact, you got 2 good Mana Tombs quests, and the second one actually provides leg gear with 3 gem sockets, which is normally best in slot for most classes if you can stack big fat gems in all of those slots. You've also got Heart of Rage, which is actually a Blood Furnace quest, will provide pretty good gear, particularly healing gear because of that ring. You've also got Fell Embers, which is a Shattered Halls quest. Again, really good gear here too. In fact, there's 2 quests for Shattered Halls, which both provide really good rewards. You've also got Sephek Halls. The great thing about these quests, you just pick them up outside the dungeon, so it's very easily done, and you get really good pieces. In fact, this piece here is an offhand, which is basically pre-raid best in slot if you don't have classic WoW gear. The questline to get the Alcatraz key also provides really good gear along the way in multiple quests that you can do along the way. And the last quest also provides really good blue gear that you can get as well. So yeah, overall, all the dungeon quests provide really great gear. 100% chance to get it because it's a quest reward, so get all the quests for all the dungeons, do the dungeons once and just, yeah, crack on, get loads of gear. But, obviously that will probably not fill up all the sockets, all the slots, but luckily there's also a number of open world quests that provide great rewards, and sometimes there can be really big group quests that provide actual pre-raid best in slot pieces as well, such as the very infamous Terrangorfian quest line. It's not difficult to do, you know, when you get a group together. And this quest reward actually provides a head armor piece with 3 gem sockets, okay, and this is definitely pre-raid best in slot for most classes, so start this quest line as early as possible, because again, you know, you want to be maximizing your efficiency, so gain XP while also getting your pre-raid best in slot gear. Another example would be this quest, the Dimensius the All Devouring, which actually provides a pre-raid best in slot tanking trinket reward, which is pretty good. Got a bonus one here actually, the Horrors of the Pollution quest. All you have to do for this quest is kill an elite mob in the open world who, when you kill him, he drops an item that starts a quest, and then you just quickly turn that in and you get a really good powerful spell hit trinket for casters. It's also a really good ring for melee DPS too because of the hit chance. So yeah, there's a number of great, really good blue rewards that you can get from particular quests, but to be honest guys, all of the quests in Shadowmoon Valley and Neverstorm provide really good green rewards, and they're only going to be a few % worse than the blue dungeon rewards that you can get. And then in some rare cases, right, the gear is actually equal to the blue raid gear, sorry, the blue dungeon gear, and then in some cases actually better than raid gear. Okay, because you can get particular items, like green items from quests that provide, for instance, a really valuable stat like expertise, which you don't really get from raids, and it's like one of the most valuable DPS increasing stats for melee DPS, so sometimes green quest reward gear can be better than all of the raiding gear. So what you need to do is get rid of this like the stigma that green gear is bad, because it's not, okay? There's so much good gear that you can pick up very quickly from quests, from these high level zones, to fill in the extra gear slots that you haven't picked up yet from, you know, farming dungeons and everything like that, and they're more than good enough for jumping into Karazhan with. But again, like I said before, tanks will have to take, you know, a little bit of a step further when it comes to their gearing, because if you're not crush capped, then you're probably going to give your, you know, raid group a very difficult time, especially if you're not defense capped. Obviously, if you've got money to spare, you can buy gear off the auction house. Now, there are some pieces that aren't actually that expensive because people are using these particular recipes to level up their professions. Okay, an example would be the Imbued Neverweave set, which means a lot of the gear pieces are on the auction house because a lot of people are making it and then trying to sell it while they're making it, and it's obviously selling very cheap because there's so many of that particular item on the auction house. You know, there's pieces going for like 60 gold, which is pretty cheap considering it's basically just shy of pre-raid best in slot gear, and it's, yeah, not bad gear at all. And because many people have been farming dungeons while leveling up, it's reduced the prices of, you know, really good blue BOE items, like for instance the Mask of Veiled Death, which is going very cheap on my server for like 30 gold, and that gear piece is ridiculously good. Another example is the Robe of a Crimson Order, which is pre-raid best in slot for most casters, and it's only 200 gold. That's like private server prices, okay? Classic TBC was supposed to have like an extremely inflated economy, and by some extent it does, but the very fact that it cost the same amount of gold as a fresh server, I mean, that's pretty good. Lastly, I want to talk about reputation gear. Now, I mean, farming reputation to Exalted isn't exactly fast, right? So talking about it doesn't really belong in this video, but if you want to do it to get some pieces, then by all means go ahead, okay? I think it's only worth grinding reputation for particularly really good pieces like the Honor Hold or Frauma Spell Power Sword, or the Gavel that you get from Lower City, or the Shield that you get from the Shatari reputation. Personally, here's my take when it comes to reputations. I don't farm rep whenever I play TBC. First of all, because I find it utterly soul draining to the point where I get bored of a game and I don't want to play it. Secondly, I'd rather just get quick gear pieces that I can get from, you know, buying pieces, you know, PvP weapons that I can get, and basically using the guide that I've just made today, right, to get gear very quickly, which is more than good enough to jump into Karazhan, and then just start getting gear from Karazhan, okay? Because there's been so many times when I've personally grinded loads and loads of rep for a particular really good piece from reputation, and then the next day I just replace it with some Karazhan gear. And that is utterly just devastating. So yeah, I normally personally don't bother grinding reputation because, yeah, I find it boring, and then I normally end up replacing the gear anyway with raid loot. You know, I just prefer to be a little bit patient. And Blizzard have made it much easier this time round to actually get the PvP weapons from Arena, so I don't even think it's even worth farming the Honor Hold or Fraumar reputation for getting the, you know, gear pieces from that, like the Spell Power weapon, because you may as well just get the Arena gear instead. Like, the only person who would not want to do that is people who really just generally really bad at PvP or really don't like PvP. But if you're slightly competent at PvP, you may as well just farm Arena to get the PvP weapons, in my opinion. Blizzard have made it just much easier for you to get them, so you may as well just crack on getting them because they are ridiculously powerful. And in fact, the Honor PvP weapons are actually really good as well. So yeah, anyway, that's just my take on when it comes to reputation. But that's definitely where I'm going to end the video there. My name is MetaGoblin. Until my next video, ciao.